Welcome to day 9. Now we are going to play two games. One is Kahoot and another is Quizzes. It's about the elements of art and principles of design, just to check our knowledge about that. Enjoy! Let's play Kahoot to check the previous knowledge about elements of art. Okay? Let's start. This Kahoot is Kahoot Challenge, so you can play by yourself and you don't need to have all together. So you just check your knowledge. So you just write your name here. Okay. The path of a moving point. Line. Is my second time that I'm playing. Name the elements. This is positive and negative space. Because if you look at the vase, you see the positive here. If you look at the faces, you see the positive faces here. Oh, I lost my time, but this is space, okay? Okay. Our perception of the way light is absorbed, reflected, or rejected. Color. Let's see, here I have organic and what's the name of this? I forgot, but it's shape. Yeah, I forgot the name. Organic and geometric. Geometric and organic shape. How an artist uses dark and light. Making value. Form. 3D shape is form. 3D dimensional is form. A three-dimensional closed figure is form. Different kind of lines. So I have curved line, zigzag lines, diagonal line, dotted line, parallel line, wavy line, outline. Yes. The way something feels or appears to feel. Texture. Remember that we are learning now elements of art, and pattern and unity is principles of design. So I have only shape and texture. So the way something feels or appears to feel is texture. This is the color wheel that usually artists use to create the best contrast ever, and so color. The combination of colors, the color theory, and we are going to learn this. A two-dimensional flat closed figure is a shape. Okay, this is related to texture. So you can see different kinds of texture here. The area around, within, and between objects is called space. This is from lightness to darkness. This is value. Okay, that's it. Well done. Bye. Hey guys, the links for the games to play the games Kahoot and quizzes are available here in description, okay? So you just click on the link. You have 15 days to play this game because the deadline is 28th of March. So try them, okay? Have fun. Enjoy. The learning objective is the same. We are learning the steps of art criticism. So we now with the step number 3. And last video we talked about the step 1, description, then step 2, analysis. Now we are going to talk about interpretation, step 3, and then judgment. Okay, so now interpretation, step 3. So the question that we need to ask ourselves to create this step, we need to ask, what was the artist's intention, meaning, purpose, and mood? Okay, so let's see. Interpretation. So the first bullet point that we are going to talk about is this. Try to identify the purpose of the work. In other words, what do you think the artist was trying to say with the work? Why did they create the work? Try to summarize the overall meaning of the work as you see it. Okay? So for this, as I said before, interpretation is subjective. So you're going to put something from you, your feeling about this. But you also need to make a little research to understand the background of the artist and to understand also the history, okay? The moment that he was living, what was happening with him in the moment that he created this artwork. This is very important, okay? The second bullet point is describe your own reaction to the work. Think about how you feel while looking at the work. What do you think is the overall mood of the work? Does it remind you of anything? Ideas, experiences, other works of art? So you need to think and say something that is related to some previous experience that you had before. Could be like, this painting reminds me when I went to a museum and I saw a kind of art that show me some movement, things like that. Something that's some experience from you, okay? If you feel hopeful, peaceful, would you describe the work as beautiful or ugly? Okay. And base your interpretation on what you have concluded in the first and second steps. Use examples from your description and analysis of the work to explain why you think and feel the way you do about the piece. Okay? So, to be successful in this step, you should let's try to take this. Oh no. Okay, so to be successful, you should write 3 paragraphs, 1 paragraph for each bullet point, using full sentences. Okay? What you should write in the interpretation about this, the same Starry Night by Van Gogh. I think the artist was insomniac, and when contemplating the city illuminated by the moon, He did not miss the opportunity to paint. The colors of this work of art create a sense of calm for me, but the yellowish orange on the moon looks like a crackling fire and creates a feeling of excitement at the same time. The lines and undulations of the colors used also add to the tranquility of this work of art that reminds me of running water. And so, when we have finished the this step and the fourth step, we are going to create an art criticism, and we are going to do together about this artwork. This Keith Haring did. It was his last mural created, and do you remember the dates? Okay, for that we are going to remember the basic information about this artwork, but it's not for now. Okay, this is the art vocabulary list that you can find in the YouTube. Now is judgment. Okay, now it's time to express your opinion. Okay, you are deciding if the work succeeded in creating a mood or telling a story. It's essential to be objective when judging an artwork. I need to correct one thing because I said before that this step is subjective, something that you can put from you. Yes, you have to express your opinion, but don't forget to provide evidence that supports your judgment, because remember, even if there is something you don't like in the artwork, the work still can be successful. Okay, so let's see step 4, judgment. We ask a question: what do I think about the artwork? Okay, here are some points that can help you write the fourth step of your art critique. Let's see. Was this artwork successful? Why? Does it have merit? What did the artist do best in your opinion, and why? What do you feel when looking at this piece of artwork? Go back to your first impression. Has anything changed? What have you learned from this work that you might apply to your artwork or your thinking? Would you change anything? Why and how? So it's important to say, if I were the artist, I would change the way he created this and that. And then you have to explain why and how. Okay, let's have a look at this example. Judgment. This artwork is an excellent impressionist painting. I think this artwork has merit because the artist used the elements and principles of art to create a painting that shows emotion and life through expressive brush strokes. The subject matter evokes a sense of calm, while the chosen colors successfully contrast to create a little excitement in the night sky. Learning about its backstory helped me to appreciate the painting even more. I wouldn't change anything because the artist's style is terrific, and I love the way he used the brush to express movement. Okay, it's important to say what you would do if you were the artist. Now you are going to see um, the entire art critique about this painting. Okay, all together. Step 1, 2, 3, and 4. Have a look. The Starry Night, painted by Vincent van Gogh in 1889, a post impressionist masterpiece that embodies many elements of art and principles of design. When I look at this nighttime landscape painting, I feel as I am observing it from a window high above. I can see clouds that look like they are moving or turbulent, and there are stars shining and a very bright crescent moon. There were mountains in the distance, and a sleepy little town lies below. There is also a large cypress tree in the foreground, very twisted and curling. There are many effective combinations of elements and principles in this painting. There is balance with regard to space, as the cypress tree balances out the shining moon in the top corner. There are contrasting colors in the sky and texture and form throughout the composition. There is movement in the nebulous clouds and glowing stars. Pattern and rhythm are repeated as the swirly stars and the rooftops below. This composition is unified, complete, and Hold the Starry Night hangs in the Museum of Modern Art in New York City, and according to their website, Van Gogh used a combination of imagination and observation when he painted this landscape. He wanted to capture the beauty of night, and this was his view from a mental health hospital window in which he was staying at that period of time. My opinion of Vincent van Gogh's The Starry Night is that it is an iconic masterpiece that successfully and skillfully embodies all the elements of art and principles of design. It is beautiful, emotional, and creative, and timeless. Now we are going to practice the 4 steps of art criticism using this activity, this mural. It was the last one that he did. And remember, it's called Tutto Mondo. And so you are going to start with step 1. And I'm going to show you how to write this art criticism. Okay? And always to succeed in this activity, you need to try hard to develop your writing to create interesting paragraphs, full sentence with sophisticated words that you can find here in this art vocabulary list. Let's get started. So on this doc, we are going to write description. Describe this mural, this artwork. So the first thing that you have to do is to write the basic information. So you need, for that, make a little research to know the title, the name of the artist, the date created, the medium used, medium is the material used, and the location. So here you can make like bullet points. So let's start. Title, tutto mondo. Then artist, Keith Haring. Medium. Now let's write date created. Date created 1989. Yes. Medium, the material. Let's write wall painting, permanent painting, permanent paint, acrylic paint. We can write wall permanent paint. Then the location. Location. This mural is painted on the exterior wall of the Church of Saint Antonio in Pisa, Italy. Okay, this is enough. Great. Now we need to write here, make a list and describe what you see on the top, in the middle, and on the bottom. Okay, and we are going to use these words top, middle, and bottom instead of using background, foreground, middle ground, because in this mural we cannot have perspective. We cannot see perspective, so we are not going to use foreground, middle ground, background. We just see flat figures, 2D figures. So that's why we are going to use only these words here. So let's see. Here I'm going to show you here first things that's on the top. Okay, we see on the top right, I can see a snake being cut by a human pair of scissors. A man coming out of another man holding a pen, and another man holding a letter with the heart symbol. On the top left, I see a human figure carrying a dolphin. A man with his leg passing through his chest and connecting with his arm. Now, in the middle, I can see the cross made of four human bodies. The wobbly guy with long arms here. The zigzag human body, this. A human with a television as his head. A figure with wings as an angel. A man with no hands playing with a hula hoop. This. The dog with zigzag human body. This. A man with chicken body. There is also a giant man holding a baby and a crawling baby here. Okay. In this first step, we don't need to say what this figure is representing. Just be objective and say what you see, okay? The obvious thing that you see. Now on the bottom. On the bottom, I can see the hand with 5 people instead of fingers and the 2 human figures connected by one body. Here. This. There are again different types of figures as the man with a tail and the person with a long arm and a tail. Finally, there are several human figures in movement. That's what I should say and write here, this second bullet point. Now let's practice this second step analysis. So here you can see the questions, and if you write a short paragraph answering these questions, you're going to write a good analysis. So let's see. How is the movement created in this artwork? How do you describe the line used by Keith Haring? Can you find repeated shapes? Are they organic or geometric shapes? Is this work balanced? Why or why not? Do the tones in this work create high or low contrast? So in analysis, we are going to write the elements of art and the principles of design. So just 2 bullet points, and we are going to write. And important to say the way the artist used the elements of art and principles of design. So in this first one, I should say the artist uses thick and curved lines to create the figures. Each figure has some kind of 2D shape, whether a circle for the head or for the hand, creating organic shapes representing humans, snakes, or dolphins. Also, geometric shapes are used to represent a rectangular TV and the love letter. Each of the figures has different, vibrant, and cheerful colors, varying from red, blue, yellow, like primary colors, and also we can see some secondary colors here. Each of the figures has different, vibrant, and cheerful colors, varying from red, blue, yellow, creating a multicolored artwork. It seems that Keith Haring does not use any value. Each element has a specific hue. Hue is color, with a flat texture and space. Now, principles of design. The second bullet point here. The artist used dramatic lines to create the movement of the figures. For example, the yellow angel has thin curved lines around him to represent that he is glowing and flying at the same time. So, a rhythm is created when the artist uses repeated lines beside the figures. Keith Haring didn't use a specific pattern, but they followed the same style to create the basic outline of the figures. This artwork has unity because it combines similar elements, creating harmony. There is nothing specific on emphasis, but more of a balance, since your eye would want to see everything, such as the human cross, the dolphins, the angel. So you can see balance here. Even with the colors, we can see some balance here. There is a dramatic contrast by arranging elements with different colors all over the wall. Now, step 3, interpretation. We are going to write 3 paragraphs, 1 paragraph for each bullet point here. Following the bullet points, these questions, we needed to create a paragraph. Okay, so let's see the first one. Try to identify the purpose of the work. What do you think the artist was trying to say with the work? Why did he create the work? Try to summarize the overall meaning of the work as you see it. So you could start writing, in my opinion, in my opinion, Keith Haring decided to paint. Okay, but now I'm going just to say it. Otherwise, we are going to take a long time to type here the paragraph. Okay. So, in my opinion, Keith Haring decided to paint the tutto mondo to represent peace and understanding uh, between people in the world. One example of this is one of these figures holding a letter with a heart symbol, and another figure holding a pen, probably about to sign it, to be in agreement. Okay. Also, the variety of human figures may represent that we have to understand and collaborate with each other, respecting everybody independently from their physical appearance. That's what I should write here in the first bullet point. Now let's see the second one. Describe your own reaction to the work. Think about how you feel while looking at the work. What do you think is the overall mood of the work? Does it remind you of anything? Ideas, experiences, other works of art? Hopeful, peaceful? Would you describe the work as beautiful or ugly? Okay, in here, I would say that this artwork brought me a feeling of contentment due to the colorful figures. Then some curiosity was raised in my mind to find out the meaning behind each figure. There is a sense of aggression, but also calmness. There is a snake being cut by two figures, scissors shaped cutting this. And this, I remember the Barcelona mural that Keith Haring created, and that was against the AIDS. And so people together could fight against the AIDS. So there is a snake there. And so I think on this mural here in Pisa, Keith Haring wanted to show the same, the people together fighting against AIDS. Then two people punching another person, figures without hands, a lot of images and movement that brought me a feeling of perplexity and astonishment. On the other hand, the angel, the dancing figures, the love letter, the figure holding a baby, they all represent serenity. I think that Keith Haring tried to put a meaning behind his painting, like to treat people the way that they would like to be treated. And this is what makes this painting beautiful and attractive. All the movements and the colorful figures remind me of a flip book where the images look like to be animated by simulating emotion. So this is what I feel, I saw. This artwork reminds me a bit of the Andy Warhol pop art because he also used repetition and very colorful images. But in the the difference between this and the Andy Warhol use just a repetition, and here I can see rhythm, and rhythm is things that in art we is not predictable, so you don't know what is coming uh, after. As in repetition, we know already it's predictable, it's like a pattern. So here I can see a variety and the rhythm in this, because when your eyes is jumping in the artwork, there is rhythm in that. So at last, the movement of the figures and vibrant colors remind me of joyfulness and children playing at a park. That's what I should write here in this second bullet point, my second paragraph. Now let's see the third paragraph. Base your interpretation on what you have concluded in the first and second steps. Use examples from your description and analysis of the work to explain why you think and feel the way you do about the piece. Okay, I would write here. Let's see here so we can think about. The contentment feeling is motivated by vibrant and cheerful colors, varying from red, blue, yellow, etc., creating a multicolored artwork where each element has a specific hue. Hue is color, okay? The feeling of peace is brought by the love letter, a crawling baby, and the giant man holding a baby. Aggression is associated with the snake being cut by a human pair of scissors, a man with a zigzag body, a man with no hands playing with a hula hoop, a cross made of four human bodies, a man with his leg passing through his chest and connecting with his arm, a person with a long arm and a tail, and two human figures connected by one body. All these figures correspond to a dramatic contrast by arranging elements with different colors all over the wall and by not using a specific pattern. The perplexity and astonishment is achieved when the artist uses dramatic lines to create the movement of the figures. So a rhythm is created by repeated lines beside the images. Also, some active lines around the figures create movement, the sense of movement. For glowing and flying at the same time, the curiosity is stimulated because there is nothing specific or emphasis, but more of a balance since your eye would want to see everything, such as the human cross, the dolphin, the angel, which follows the same style to create the basic outline of the figures, but one is different from the other. Calmness is indicated by thick and curved lines. 2D organic shapes representing humans, snakes, and dolphins in a flat texture and space. This is what I would write here in the third paragraph, um, mixing a little bit some description and analysis of the artwork. And finally, the step 4, judgment and success criteria is develop your writing to create interesting paragraphs and use full sentences with sophisticated words. Okay, here we are going to write just 2 paragraphs. We have 2 bullet points. Let's see. Was this artwork successful? Why? Does it have merit? What did the artist do best in your opinion? Why? Support your judgments with answers from the first 3 steps. So let's see what we should write in this first paragraph. The artwork is very successful since Keith Haring managed to represent peace in the world through this wall painting. I think that this artwork has merit and high quality because the artist used as an element of art the strong, bold, and expressive lines. As a principle of art, the artist used the same line style to express movement. So, a rhythm is created when the artist uses repeated figures and different colors used, and the movement is created by the active lines around the figures. These simple elements and principles of art create a powerful language that always identify Keith Haring's style. The best thing that the artist did was to interpret each figure with a unique meaning behind the artwork. The yellow angel has curved lines around him to represent that he's glowing and flying at the same time. A wobbly guy next to a giant man holding a baby, and a man with TV as a head, a dolphin being carried by a human figure, just to exemplify a few are impressive and vigorous images of the human being diversity. Now, here in this second bullet point, let's see. Would you change anything? Why and how? So now you should write here something that you wanted to change here if you were the artist. I would have added a big heart drawing in the center along with figures hugging it. Inside the heart, there would be the earth. This would create emphasis and would clarify the meaning behind the whole artwork. Peace and harmony in the world. This is what I should change if I were the artist. And with this, I think the artwork would be more interesting with emphasis. The 4 steps of formal critique in art and why we do it and how to do it properly. Remember, this will help you not only understand what you are looking at when you look at different pieces of art, but it will also help you create art, because you will kind of know what you are looking at and judging in other artworks, and then you can figure out how to judge and look at your own artwork. I hope you have enjoyed and found it useful. Now we have our food for thought moment. The quote today is about criticism. Robert Anton Wilson was an American author, and he said, "Bad critics judge a work of art by comparing it to pre-existing theories. They always go wrong when confronted with a masterpiece, because masterpieces make their own rules."